Hello, 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 everybody. Everybody. What's cracking? What's up? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Whoo, guys. Whew. My goodness. My goodness. Today was a journey for me. Today was a journey for me. Oh my goodness. I'm charging my phone right now because it's halfway dead. Well, now it's 25% now. A fast charger. But oh my goodness, what a heck of a day I have had. Today was the day where I was going to work on Haku's hub bearing. And you know, guys, I've been putting back the hub bearing for a very long time. The reason being is because every single time was the wrong axle nut. I looked it up and they told I had the beginning, my axle nut basically, I had got a whole CV axle nut shaft drive, every single drive that comes in a case. I waited for that to come in and I said, okay, let me do my hub bearing, my wheel hub bearing. And it turns out that wasn't the right one. So the whole tool set of hub bearing wasn't the right one. So then I put back everything, and at this time I wasn't thinking. I just took everything off. I took my brake pads, my caliber, I took my rotor off, and I wasn't thinking much because I was like, okay, it comes up to 36. Was it 36? No, 38. The whole pack came up to 38 lug nut size. So I'm all like, okay, didn't think much, and so I used the biggest size. Didn't work. I had to put back everything up, and then this was about a month ago when that happened. And then I looked up online. They said a 46 is the lug nut that needs to come. The lug nut bolt is a 46 millimeter socket. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get a 46 millimeter socket. So I went on Amazon and got a 46 millimeter socket, 3/4 the drive, and it didn't come in yet. They said the package was gonna arrive like, I don't know, sometime last month, and it never did. They gave me a whole full refund. Long story short, after fighting with them, they gave me a refund. They said, we'll give you a refund. If the part comes in, you can keep it or you can send it back. I said, I want my part. I said, what happened to it? It got lost in transit. Somehow it got lost in transit. Somehow Amazon lost my package. So then I was like, oh, great. I can't get it done again still. So I said that same day I had gotten another 46 millimeter socket from a different vendor on Amazon. It finally came in and I said, great, I can go ahead and do my wheel hub bearing now. And I had 2 days off. 2 days off. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be smarter. I'm gonna go ahead and not take off everything. I'm just gonna see if the socket fits. That was round 2. And this was days past. Like, I'm talking about, this is what the struggle I was going through with trying to do my wheel hub bearing. That's what I said, what a day. So finally, I get the tire off. I grabbed the nut and the socket. I grabbed the socket, hold it to the nut. It didn't fit. It was too big. And I was like, oh my God, now this thing is too big. It doesn't fit. So oh man, I was annoyed and I had to take the tire off. I was like, good thing I didn't wake up early in the morning for this crap because I would have been mad because I wanted to do it like around 12 o'clock ish. I would have been mad if I would have done it early in the morning. So then I went back online and I was like, what the heck? Why isn't this 46 millimeter working? People are saying it's a 46 millimeter or it's a 48 millimeter. I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy a 48 millimeter, just the heck of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go to actual Euro German website and go get a slim socket of 46 millimeter. So then what did I do? I went to Eero.com and I went ahead and just went there and I bought the socket. I didn't care how much it cost. I think it cost me like $40 or something like that. But I didn't care. I'm done with it. I'm done. I want to get this hub bearing assembly done. I'm so sick of it. I've been having the hub bearing for like 2 months already. I think going on 2 months and a half. I'm not sure. It just feels like forever. So then I was like, okay. Finally, the wheel hub bearing nut, the socket shows up, and of course it's raining. My 2 days off. Oh, it's gonna be raining. Oh, it's raining. I'm like, okay, well then I'll fix it. Do another day. And, oh, it was raining again. And, oh, I have to wake up the next morning, so I can't do my wheel hub bearing. So I'm more like, cause I know I'm gonna be hella tired. I know I'm gonna be hella tired of doing my wheel hub bearing. I just want enough time to relax and whatnot. So then, finally, last week I was gonna do it, and then they said they had to come in for a certain type of, certain time. So I'm like, well, there goes a cancellation because I want to make room for this. I'm trying to make room for it. And everybody decides, oh, well, you know what? I need this day off. And well, then where's my day off? And it's just, I've been working like 6 days a week and stuff. So it's just keeps accumulating. And I'm like, bruh, let me get this hub bearing assembly done, bro. And I was so freaking annoyed. So then, I'm all late with my rotational lights. So then, after that happened, let me drink some. I had 3 days off today, well, this week, but they told me to come in to give me extra hours. So I'm like, okay, go ahead and go in, give me extra hours. So I went in on Monday. So Wednesday and Thursday are my day off. So which is this week. This week of Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, I know today is Thursday. Wednesday, I said to myself, it's like, you know what? I'm just so tired. I am so freaking tired. I've been working and my eye sockets are tired. My whole body is tired. So I'm like, let me rest up for Wednesday and and just rest it up, and then on Thursday I'll go ahead and do it, which is today. Because whenever I was supposed to get off, well, yesterday I think I told y'all guys that I got off a little bit early. She told me that I was supposed to close, but I told her, no, can I get off a little early? That earliness I took into consideration. Let me get some more rest so I can do this wheel hub today, which is on Thursday, which is today. So then I was like, okay, well, I rested up. Let me get this wheel hub bearing done today. So today was the day of all days that I was going to go ahead and do the wheel hub bearing. Now, if you're barely joining, whatever, I just did a 10-minute rant onto how this even happened, what a journey I just had for just today was just a journey. So today I wanted to do the wheel hub bearing. I got up around, well, because people were making so much noise lately around my apartment complex right now. They're fixing all kind of stupid things that don't even make sense, and it's just waking me up. So I end up waking up at 10:15, and I stayed in bed until 10:30, and then that's when I started getting ready. So I told myself I was going to leave out the door at 12 o'clock to my grandma's so I can, put the car up in the air and do all that stuff. Let me go refill my cup, guys. Hold on. Give me a sec. So then I went ahead. Oh, by the way, I'm probably gonna make this either because I go in a little later. It all depends. Either 31 minutes or 45 minutes. It depends. Because tomorrow I go in later. So, and this is the reason why. So I knew I was gonna recuperate because for the next 2 days I'm going to be going into work later. I'm going to be going to work until 5 o'clock, 5 to close, which is not that many hours because I squeezed everything in 1 hour and all the hours that I did. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I get to my grandma's. I propped up my car. I usually prop up my car with a brick because my car is too low to the ground. I can't put a jack under it. So I propped up the car. I moved my grandma's car out of the way and everything. And then I propped up my car and then jacked it up and took off the tire and then checked I was like, bro, this better be the right socket this time because I'm going to flip out. It was the right socket. It was the freaking right socket, and I was like, oh my god, it's the right socket. So I finally got the right socket for the job. Finally! After 2 months and some change, me having this stupid wheel hub bearing. And you know what? I'm just sick and tired of it. The wheel hub bearing has gone bad. It didn't fall off or anything like that. It's just gone bad. Like you can hear it clicking, click, 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 click. And I'm also afraid that it will basically, eat up my tires. And hold on, give me a second. All right. So I was afraid that it will eat up my tires and whatnot. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just change my wheel hub bearing. And why did this stupid thing go off? Hold on. I don't know why Google does that. So I finally got the right socket, and that's when I was just going to go ahead and I took off everything. I started taking off my brake pads, my brake caliper, the caliper bracket, and then the rotor. And then I was like, okay, I got everything off. Now is the hard part. If y'all don't know, if you haven't seen my live streams a while back, I told everybody that I have one homie G, legit homie G, that lives in the UK, and that occasionally from time to time, if I have a question about E46 or anything like that, he responds like quick. he responds quick, and he's on it. Like I don't know. You know, I've never met him in real life, or never talked to him on the phone or whatnot. He is literally. I guess a guidance. I've never really had a person like him at all. You know, I met one person online that from a different state, but they don't talk to me the way that this guy from the UK. And this guy, again, remember, I had said it a long time ago. He never, ever, ever tried to even hit on me. He never asked me what I look like. He never asked me if my profile picture is what I look like. He never asked me for my number so he can talk to me. Like legit, this guy I've never met, but he's from the UK, and I respect him, and I'm pretty sure he does respect me too. We talk to each other about, you know, how he builds his cars, but I do have a whole video about that a long time ago. But let's move on to the story. I uh I went ahead and just took off everything, and I texted him. I said, what's a good way to take off this axle nut? And then he told me, he says, oh, you're gonna have to have a breaker bar and maybe an extension of the jack. So I did so. It didn't want to come off. It was bouncing me back and forth, bouncing. I could not get it off for nothing. And I kind of gave up. And then I was like, you know what? Let me rethink the situation. So I rethought the situation, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and prop my car up on some cinder blocks. So I propped my car up on the cinder blocks, and then after I propped my car on the cinder blocks, I took the jack that I used to, you know, jack up the car, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna jack up the car, because I tried just the regular jack, you know, for your, like, you know, spare, whatever. I tried that, it didn't work. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna get the jack, and I tried every which way, and I was like, you know what? This has to be coming off. You know, I don't know how. So I jacked up the jack. No, I jacked up the jack with the breaker bar, and I slowly went up and down. Hello, diamonds. Oh, what's up, diamonds? I'm talking about my journey of a day trying to do my wheel hub bearing, bro. I was trying to do my wheel hub bearing on my car. I just talked for 18 minutes on how long it's taken me to even try to attempt to do my wheel hub bearing. Hello, Slim. Oh my goodness. What is this? Slim J1M? What's up? Oh my goodness, we got a couple of people in the chat. So I jacked up the breaker bar with the jack, and it was coming off slowly, and then I had to put it back. Man, I was scared for my life, bro. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna F up my car even more. Howdy, Jim. Beef jerky. Guy. Oh, you got me. I don't know. What you got me? You got me. So it started slowly cracking. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna F up something. And finally it cracked and kept cracking. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I said, I gotta stop being so scared. And I went for it, and it was going up, and I was like, I think I broke it. I think I actually broke loose. I was like, oh, I got it. So I was so excited that I freaking got it that I ran inside, and I was like, oh my god, I got it. I got the axle nut off. I got the axle nut off. So I was so excited that I freaking got the axle nut off. And I just left everything there. I will post the video later in the future about this. And you can see my journey of freaking doing my axle nut. It's just freaking journey. And today was just a journey, bro. So I got the axle nut off. That was one thing. And I loosened it and I turned it and I was like, you know what? I already took off the axle nut. Now I need to take off the hub. And so I was like, okay, well, after I take off the hub, then I know that I have a free will to eat me something. Because I ate something before that. I just ate me some cereal and that was it. And my grandma had made some chicken and rice. Can you shout out my friend Hugo G? He would love it. Okay. That was random. But what's up, Hugo G? There it goes. You already deleted it, so I couldn't say the rest. So either that or you got deleted, but restricted. Okay, I see you. I see you. But so I grabbed. I have a two prong prior thingy mabobber. Oh, sorry, 20 minutes. I'm doing rotational lights too. So we're gonna turn off that. And we are going to have those little lights on. I don't know why is the thing not blended. And you know, think about working on cars. You never know. You never know what the heck you're gonna get into. Working on cars. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't work on cars on this little platform, but it's hard. It's hard, I'll tell you. It's hard to work on cars sometimes. So I finally got that off. So I grabbed the two prong puller, and I noticed that the puller wasn't working correctly. I couldn't pull it because the 2-ton puller was too small. The insert of it was way too small. So I'm like, okay, well, if it's too small, what do I do? I called my cousin and I asked him if he had another puller, like an axle nut puller. And he says, all I got is the steering wheel puller thing. I said, maybe that will work. So after that, he's like, let me go look at my house and see what I have. I end up grabbing a wrench. I was like, you know what? What happens if I put something in the hole and then use the force to force it out? So I end up putting a random socket. I put a random socket in the hole. I end up using the 2-prong puller and just pulled with all my might. Well, I cranked it with all my might. So I was cranking it. As I was cranking it, it was slowly coming out. And it was working. It was freaking working, and I could not believe it. Oh man, I was so happy. I was so freaking happy. It was actually working. The socket that was in the insert, it was actually going out. Man, if y'all have not worked on cars or whatever, and you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably lost already. You know, you lost in the sauce. So I was like, what the F? It's working, bro. And it came out, and then after that, I was like, let me get the there's a thing on the what the heck? So now I'm getting all frustrated over here because I'm like trying to find the words. The race. So it's called the race. The race was the one that needed to come out too. So it has the wheel hub, and then has the race. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, you might be lost. I'm talking about car parts and stuff. And let me go empty my cup. Hold on, give me a sec, guys. So I grabbed the prongs with the race, and I put the 2-prong thing on it, and I grabbed it and I pulled it, and it was working too. So the race came off. The shaft was already there. The shaft I could see. So then I was like, you know what? I've already done. I'm halfway done. So I took a break, and this was around like maybe 2:30. So I'm like, you know what? All I have to do is put the new CV shaft, the new hub bearing assembly in, and then put everything back. That's all I was thinking. That's all I was thinking. I was like, okay, well then now it's gonna be a breeze since I got it off. I went ahead and ate. My grandma had made some chicken and rice, so I ate the chicken and rice. And after I ate, I went back to it, and my grandpa was all like, "You gotta put some grease," and I was like, "Oh snap! I forgot the dang grease. I forgot the grease. I don't know. As much as I'm at work, I should have just got the grease, but no, my dumb butt forgot the grease. So I put a little oil on it, and after that, I put the oil on it. What is that noise? Oh. Oh man, I gotta refill my cup again. Give me a sec, guys. You might see my shadow, guys. You just might see my shadow. Also, I had male monster energy, so it helped me cope with this because I don't think I would have coped with it at all. So I went back to it. I put a little bit of that little oil on it because I knew my grandpa was gonna be outside, and sometimes my grandpa could get on my nerves sometimes because he's Italian, and he just like, he kind of ruins the moment sometimes when I'm in the zone. But at that time, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this real quick before my grandpa, comes in the system and just says, "Oh no, you should do this, you should do this, you should do that." So I end up putting the CV shaft on there. I mean, CV shaft. Why do you saying CV shaft? The hub bearing on the car, and I grabbed because they said put the hub bearing on the car, then grab the 38 millimeter socket and go around it and tap it around and then hammer it in. So that's exactly where I was. So I did that, and then that's when my grandpa was like, did you oh, there's a cat around my car. The cat is around my car because he smells the other cats that my grandma has. Let me make sure he doesn't mess with my car. Where are my keys? Oh, there's a cat. There's a cat around my car. I don't like cats. Try to get in my car. just sniffing the tire. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize the time. Let me take. Turn my little lights off over there. So we had diamonds in the house, and we had some Slim Jim over here. I guess that's what you call his name. So I'll be here. Diamonds. Well, I was gonna be here like 45 minutes. I'll be here a little long. I'll figure it out. So basically, after I did that, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and put the CV axle. Oh my God, what did I say? The hub bearing axle nut back. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and put the hub axle nut back. I was like, okay. He's like, well, all you're gonna do is torque it down. I said, yeah. For some reason, the people say, everybody says on the forums, torque it down to 214 foot-pounds of torque. And my grandpa's like, 214 pounds of torque. I was like, yeah, that's what everybody's saying. And my torque wrench that I have only goes to 150 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm like, what the heck? How am I gonna put it for 214 foot-pounds? Like, that's impossible. How the heck am I gonna do that? So I told him, I said, well, I guess what I can do is put it for 150 foot-pounds of torque. And then when I go to my job, take off the tire and then re-torque it down, because I'm pretty sure we have a torque wrench that goes to that height, because I don't have a torque wrench that goes to 200 foot-pounds of torque. So I was like, bro, what the heck am I gonna do? So I end up putting the 150. Well, I could have put 150 because I don't know, it didn't go up any further. So I'm like, I don't want to break my torque wrench. So I went ahead and put 130, I believe 130 foot-pounds. I put 130, and then I was like, oh, there. The whole hub assembly did not move. It didn't move, and I was panicking. And I said, "Oh my God, the whole hub doesn't move at all. It doesn't turn freely like it's supposed to." I end up texting the homie that I know in the UK, and he says, "Yeah, something's not right." And I was like, "Well, what can be right?" So then I had a hard time taking it off. I used all my force to take off that 150, and then after I took off the 150, my grandpa was like, "Well, then something ain't right." I said, "Yeah, something ain't right, because it's locking up, and I'm barely even putting 130 pounds of torque." So then we tried it again, and I tried to see if it was seated all the way. The hub bearing was seated. And so I kept knocking it, and so I was like, hey, it should be all the way up in there. So then I put the lug nut, axle nut, the hub nut on there. And then I torqued it out. I said, you know what, let me try 80 foot-pounds. I tried 80 foot-pounds, and it still didn't work. It's still locked up. I was like, what the heck could be wrong? Oh man, I was so mad and angry. I was like, you know what? I think the hub bearing is bad. It doesn't work for my vehicle. So then my grandpa was like, well, how can it not work for your vehicle if you bought it and it says your vehicle? I looked on the actual box itself. It says it's from China. So I'm all like, well, there's my cause, man. How come I didn't look at the stupid box earlier? Like, I thought the Moog, Moog brand, Moog, was a good brand. It was highly goodly built. Guys, I don't know. It was so freaking random. But I was like, you know what? Let me try it. Just barely even moving it. So I barely moved it. Like it was loose and loose and loose. And then it finally locked up again. I didn't even put no pressure. I didn't put no pounds of torque. And then me and my grandpa were like, okay, so something else must be wrong. So my grandpa was helping me throughout the whole entire situation. Oh my gosh, my nail is getting on it. His nail's getting in the way. So my grandpa was helping me, and I don't mind when he helps me sometimes. Sometimes there's a time that you do need help, and I have really no friends that work on cars, and not anymore like I used to, and no friends that can help me on this little situation. Like, it's a horrible mess on my situation. So then I have him at least to help me out and to, I guess, comfort me in that time where it's like, well, what happens if we do this? Like, we're working with two brains now. I'm working with his brain and my brain. I'm trying to figure out something. I was like, well, something's not right. Maybe the whole thing is not right. So we took out. So I was like, you know what? Let me take out the whole hub bearing. Just let me take it out. And why is my thing lagging? Oh, why it's lagging? So I was like, let me take out my whole hub bearing out. So I took it out, and it came out. The race was still in there. Was attached to the hub. Was attached to the axle. So I'm all like, okay, what the heck? How am I gonna get the race out now? It's all the way in there. The race that I had to deal with the old one was not that far back. Oh guys, oh my goodness, it was so hard. You're gonna be hearing me talk about race. Now, I don't know if I should just put it in the description. Let me see. Because a lot of people will be like, what the heck are you talking about? Race. What's a race? And put it in the description so you know what I'm talking about and you can look it up. Give me a sec, guys. Hub bearing race. Oh, I see something. Remover tool. I'll let you know in a bit. This is wow. And I was thinking about. I was like, man, I can't even see myself doing this thing. Hub bearing brace there. Just in case y'all be like, what are you talking about, race? Let me go refill my cup. So that hub bearing race was still attached to the hub shaft. I already got the hub bearing out, but the race was still attached. So there's the problem. I could not get this race off for nothing. I mean, for nothing. I tried to figure it out. My grandpa was like, I don't know how you're going to get this out. You know, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to go to Harbor Freight and either get a chisel and chisel it out. I've seen some videos that they said that you have to get the race out, you have to cut the race out. You have to cut it out. And I was like, what? I have to get a grinder tool and cut it out to get it out. And I was like, no, there's no way I could be doing all that. I mean, I gotta return this thing because it's not the right part. I ended up calling where I bought it from, which was Advance Auto. And I called them and I said, you know, what's your warranty? I asked the lady, guys. Oh my goodness. I asked the lady, guys, on what her warranty was. She's like, oh, and I was like, okay, I bought the product online. How do you look up the warranty? It's like, you have to call the manager tomorrow so they could look up the warranty. I was like, what the heck? So you can't look up the warranty online purchases? No, it's complicated. I was like, what the heck? These people don't run like I work. Where I work, we run so much different. I feel like where we work, we got a lot of more relaxation. I don't know. I'm kind of considering the fact. Makes me think about it. So anyways, I called them and I said, okay. I said, what if I have a hub bearing that's not great, it's not all that, if I want to exchange it? So I ended up talking to them about the hub bearing situation. They said that they have a better brand, which a brand that I would like. It's FAG, and that brand is the brand that's basically OEM. I said, when can you get that brand? They said, oh, it won't be here until 2 weeks or so, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, if I could, can I upgrade it and stuff? So I was talking to them, and then at the same time, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm just going to have to eat it. I am going to have to eat the hub bearing. That's it. I accepted it that I was going to have to eat it. And so I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to go to Harbor Freight. So I ended up going to Harbor Freight with my grandma. I ended up going to Harbor Freight with my grandma, and I got me chisels. Because I didn't have a good chisel. I only have one chisel. I got me a 90-degree angle pliers, and I got me more pullers, different size of pullers. I got me medium, small, and large puller, which is only $21. It was pretty good. And then I got me chisel pullers. What else? Dang, I don't even forgot what I got. Oh, it got me a little pry bar to help me. I tried to find any little thing that I could to help me take off this hub bearing race. I tried everything. I bought 5 items, and after I left, I said, I hope this helps, man, because I want to get this stupid rice hub bearing off. And so I tried. Oh, bro. What the heck is that? I see someone in the distance. We're about to go in 45 minutes, so that was kind of like my max time here. So let me do more relation. I can't speak. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. We'll do some bubbles and stuff. this off. Turn this back on. I'm gonna go do some bubbles. There we go. And I'm going into my cup. All right, I'm back. Oh my goodness. I say an hour and 15. Okay, an hour and 15. I already made it up because I had Diamonds up in here and I already had Slim Jim over here. So Slim Jim is new, so I've never seen him before or them before. I don't know who that is. So I ended up getting all those tools, and after I got those tools, I came back to my car, and I tried my hardest to figure out which tool is gonna work best. I felt like none of them worked, and then I grabbed the chisel, and my grandpa was like, "You can't use that one because it's gonna break it." So I'm all like, "I don't care. I need to get the stupid thing off. I have to get it off." So I ended up breaking one little piece of the race, and that little race was not even the part that I needed to break off. It still had a big hole, like puncture. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't get it off. So then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to get off the splash shield on the whole thing. I'm trying to get off the splash shield. So he's like, well, if you're gonna get off the splash shield, how can you? So I couldn't get off the splash shield. I text my homie too. I said, how can I take off the splash shield? It doesn't even come off. It doesn't fit. So I end up trying my hardest to get off the splash shield, and I finally got it off. And after I got it off, I was like, okay, well, let me pry this over here, put this over here, this little dust cover. And so I tried my hardest, guys. I tried my hardest to get that stupid rice off, that hub bearing rice off. I could not get it. I could not get it. And I was all like, oh my gosh, I can't get it. I can't get it. I was so mad and frustrated. I'm like, who can help me at this time? And at this time, I don't know what time it was, like 6 o'clock or so. I was like, who can help me at this time? Who has a tool strong enough to take the stupid hub bearing rice off? So I was like, you know what? I told my grandpa, I was like, oh, you know what? How about we keep that rice on there, the hub bearing rice on there, and then put the old one back, because that's the only thing I can do. Because I still need to drive my car. I still need to go to and from work, and as I go to and from work, I can figure it out. And he's like, well, I don't know if it's gonna work or what. I said, that's the only way I could think about. So he's like, okay, well, this is what we'll do. So me and him we were talking, we were planning. He says, okay, well, what we'll do is grease up because I had bought grease. Oh my gosh, hold on, give me a second. Hold on. Alright. So I had bought grease. So I was like, it's not the right grease, but at least it's grease. And I bought grease so I could lube it up. I could lube up the whole entire thing. Why is this thing? It seems like it's zoomed in. I think it's zoomed in. So we cleaned each and every little bearing. Me and my grandpa, we decided to clean each and every bearing. And as we were cleaning it, he's like, well, make sure all the bearings are there. One bearing was missing. Clear blue sky. I don't know how the heck one bearing just gone missing. So me and my grandpa looked all over. I ended up breaking out my magnet, and I tried to figure it out. I was like, what happened to it? He's like, I don't know. It should have all been there. And so we couldn't find this stupid thing. Let's see. I should do this way. I never done this way. Just lights. And I was like, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense why it's not working for me or whatnot. And so I looked all over. We looked all over. And before dark, it was still like before dark. And mind you, this world, the weather people said, oh, it's not gonna rain. Bullish. It drizzled on me, and it looked like there was hella dark clouds everywhere. I look on the radar, no clouds. I look in real life, so many clouds. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this world, anyways. So then after that, we couldn't find it. So I told my grandpa, I said, you know what, we're just gonna have to borrow one from the actual one that I had bought and that doesn't work for the dang car. And then he's like, oh, well, you're gonna mess it up. I said, you know what, I'm already accepting the fact that I need to get one. And so he's like, he used to work in, my grandpa used to work in it's like a refinery little area, so everything is perfection for him. And he's Italian, so it's more perfection. So he's like, let me measure the size of the wheel bearing of this one, and let me measure the wheel bearing size of this one. I was like, I'm gonna let him do what he's got to do, because he's helping me. And my grandma, sometimes she gets in the way. She's all like, is he helping you, or is he just arguing with you? And I told her, I said, no, he's actually helping me, because without this help, I would have been like really, really angry and give up, and I don't know what I would do. I have to like regroup. I had to regroup so many times through this time. And again, this is just a journey, freaking tell of me, man. I'm just telling you all my journey. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call my job, because my job has a secondary resource, which is IMC. If y'all never heard of IMC, they are like basically OEM parts. They get OEM parts from different vendors that are basically Germans. And so I'm gonna call my job, because I know this guy at work, he should know how to work the system. So I called him, and he was trying to help me. He was trying to help me at the same time. He says, oh, I don't know how to figure out this little system, because it is pretty hard. I've never done it myself. I just was desperate, and I wanted to see if I had any like help with the IMC program. I might have to call IMC themselves. So he tried his hardest to help me out. So he could only help me out so much, and I was like, oh, should I just go to the store and do it myself or whatever? And so I was like, no, because I'm really tacky. I have grease all over my face. My hair is all over the place. Like, I don't feel like being in the store right now. And I don't feel like, I just don't feel like it, which is my store. And so I'm just like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? How am I going to do it? So I went back outside. My grandpa at that time was like, I got it. I know what to do. I said, I already have the little bearing seals inside, and all you got to do is lube it up real quick, and then we'll put it on. I was like, first of all, again, my grandpa's Italian. Grandpa's Italian. Hold on. Let me empty my cup real quick. So my grandpa's Italian, so he has to think it over first before he even does it. Now I don't know if you know Italians or whatever, but they are hard headed and they want to speak the last speak. So I had gave him enough time to think about it and to basically figure out what could work, what could not work. So he just ended up all of a sudden is like, this is gonna work. So my idea all of a sudden worked. So I was like, I went with it. I was like, you know what? If he says it's gonna work, it's gonna work, you know. So we put back the hub bearing. We slowly put it on there. It stayed, and he's like, "That's the only way you're gonna drive it and everything else." So it stayed in place with the old hub race on there. The hub race was on there, and it stayed. So I was like, you know what? Since it stayed, I'm gonna just leave it like that. Like, I have no choice. I have no choice at this time. And it was late. It was already dark. And so it's like, yeah, just go ahead. We'll go ahead and tap it in. We tapped it in, and then we put the actual hub bearing nut on there, and it was going. It was going. It was going perfectly fine. So I was like, I'm a little scared right now. He's like, no, you shouldn't be scared because it should go forward. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do 80 foot-pounds of torque. He's like, just do the whole 150. I said, no, let me do 80 real quick. I did 80 foot-pounds. It was still spinning. It didn't lock up like the last one. I was like, okay. All right, now I'm gonna do 135. I did 135 and it was still fine. It didn't lock up. It was still rotating. And he's like, see, something's wrong with the hub assembly. I said, whew. So I'm okay because the hub worked. The old hub worked. I'm okay with it. But at the same time, I know I have to get this stupid rice off somehow, some way. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, of all the mechanics that go to and from my store, I sometimes try to talk to them about certain things. They don't want to talk about anything. It's like, I want to see who can help me take off this rush. Like, I could work on my car, but sometimes I do need help from other people with different experience. I have never ever taken off a hub bearing. Never. So this is my first time. And if people have the experience, they literally want to charge you for the experience. And that's the thing about me. I have experience, but I'm not going to charge you. I'm actually help you. I mean, that's just me. Let me refill my cup and empty my. Well, actually, I empty my cup. Hold on. Woo. I need to cook me. Actually, you know what? We're almost there in that time. Oh my goodness. Oh, I forgot my cup. Come back up. Oh, right. So we got the shaft back on. And then I was like, okay, well, that's basically it. That's all I gotta do now. Is, put everything back. So I was thinking about it, and he was thinking about it too. And it was becoming a time where it's like, it's late, and now I'm thinking way too much about it. Like, if it's gonna work or not. And he's like, it's gonna work just for a little temporarily until we get a new shaft or nothing. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go with it. I end up putting everything back. I put my rotor on. I put my actual, caliber bracket and the brakes back on. And then I was like, I don't know, hopefully this works. That's all I'm thinking about, is that hopefully it works and it doesn't come off of me on the road or anything like that. Because that's all I'm terrified over, is like causing an accident or whatever, it coming off. It might make all this noise and stuff, but I had torqued it down for a good cause and good reason. And it's very nerve-wracking. So I end up putting everything back. I try to, regroup myself. It kept still turning like differently, and my grandpa kept, going back and forth with it, and it kept making this little hub bearing noise, And so I'm like, it has to be the hub that's wrong with it, And so after that, I try to put my tire back on. He's like, okay, well, you just put your tires back on. Bruh, my tire did not want to go back on. My tire did not want to go back on. Why did it is not coming on? Oh, I think I was supposed to put this. Why was not my tire going back on? Why? I don't know. And I told my grandpa, he's like, well, what's wrong? What happened? I said, I don't know. My tire doesn't want to go back. It doesn't want to seat. If y'all don't know what tire seating is when the hub and the rim go together. It didn't want to seat. So we tried our hardest to seat this, and it didn't work. So the way we seated it was going back and forth, but something happened in between that. The hub little circumference and my rim don't match up. But we made it match up, and I was terrified because I was like, I don't want to strip the actual thing itself. Bruh. I gotta tell you. I've never been so stressed out in a while. So I end up putting the rim back to where it goes. Whew, getting tired already. I've been talking for like almost an hour. I end up putting the rim back where it goes, and I slowly went through it. Like, we were slowly putting the thing on, and man, I gotta tell you, that was the hardest thing I ever done in a while. I put it back. After I put it back, I lowered it. Me and my grandpa were talking about how it makes this wobbling noise or whatever. I end up, hold on, let me empty my cup too. And change it to bubbles. Oh, what is that? So I ended up putting everything back. I put down the car. I told my grandpa I'm gonna drive it around. I'm gonna drive it around and see how it feels just around the corner. And I drove it around. Well, he backed up and everything. And I drove it around. And it felt okay. It felt okay. And so I was like, well, if it feels alright, then I might be alright. I was skeptical as AF. Oh, I was skeptical. I end up, I didn't want to drive crazy. I just knew that it's only temporarily. That's all I could think about is only being temporarily. I can't do nothing much about it. And so that was basically the journey, guys. The journey. I ended up coming home very slowly but surely. I kept hearing a little click, 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 click. Man, it kept scaring the heck out of me. Obviously, the bearing somehow got loose inside or whatever, but the thing about it is the tire's still on. It's like the rotations, like, I mean, it's still going to be clicking because of the bearings inside. We put all the bearings back inside, and there's no other way that the bearing could come out of the shaft, so that there's no other way around it. So, it's just a matter of time where, I'm gonna hear more clunking. It scares the heck out of me, and I did record a little bit of noise out of it, but whew. Guys, my journey of the day was crazy with this hub bearing. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Whew, I just spoke for a whole hour and 8 minutes already. A whole hour, 8 minutes talking about this situation. Now, what's gonna happen next? I don't know. The only thing I can do is, talk to some people and see if they can let me borrow some tools to take the hub bearing rice off, and put a new one, because obviously it's not working out for me with my little bitty tools that I have. And I got more tools, and every single time I work on my car I have to buy more tools. It's crazy. It is crazy. Whew. What a journey of a day, guys. What a journey of a day for me. I can't believe this even happened, and all I can do is take it slow. And driving, I can't really do anything dumb. And speed bumps, I don't know. I don't live that far from my job, but usually I'll take a back street to my job. But this time around, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try to take the smoothest. Oh yeah, the smoothest roads to my job. I know two smooth roads to my job, and that's all I know. Oh my goodness, guys. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. Cray. But yeah, we're about to end the live stream. If anybody joins, then I'll keep going. But I was gonna make it an hour and 15. We're an hour and 10 minutes. And this is not the longest live stream, because my other live stream was long. But I just said a whole bunch, and within that, whew, I said my whole journey. My goodness. My goodness, guys. It was a journey. It sure was. Jeez. But yeah, with this little time that we have, what's up, Diamonds? Where you been? And Slim Jim, who is Slim Jim? I don't know who the heck is Slim Jim. With the remaining time, we shall talk. I've been talking for an hour and 12 minutes. Whew. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna eat me a little something, and I don't know if I'm gonna play a video game. Maybe I'll play a video game tomorrow or so. But I'm more hungry. What the heck was that? I got chicken breast cooking. Oh my goodness, guys, what a journey of a day. Oh, I made it home safely. And I just really hope, of course the noises that I'm gonna hear are gonna be like, like, that's gonna terrify me. I can't. Tomorrow when I go to work, I'm gonna try to see if I can find somewhere that can ship me the freaking hub bearing fast. Like, that's one thing about having German cars, guys, is that nothing is locally. You cannot buy anything locally at all. It's so annoying. It is freaking annoying. Everything has to be shipped from far and beyond and take 4 to 5 business days. It's just so annoying. So yeah, who here in the chat, guys? Who here in the chat? I don't feel like falling asleep right now. I'm like, I feel like falling asleep right now. What a journey of a day. What a journey of a day. What a journey. What else am I gonna say? It was actually a good time because I just finished everything what I just said. We had a little bit of time to chat and chill. Well, yeah, guys, so thank you, Diamonds, for being here. And thank you, Slim Jim, whoever Slim Jim is, for joining the live stream. All of a sudden, I was here for a long time because of those two. I never saw Slim Jim before, so I have to be here for that person. And hope you enjoyed my journey. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.